Well, hey, good evening and welcome tonight to our Wednesday night update here at First Presbyterian Church. We are glad to have you coming online with us. We have had some sound issues for the last few weeks, and again, I'm really apologetic for that. I am most certainly hoping that you guys can hear me loud and clear tonight. I ran 2 live tests before this. Everything checked out. I ran recordings. So if you can't hear me, then we're just going to have to abandon this completely tonight. But I'm thinking you guys can actually hear me perfectly well. It looks like we have sound coming through, so I am delighted to have that working for us tonight. Shara, you were the first one to log on this evening. Welcome. Hope you and your family got to enjoy this afternoon. Lan, it's good to see you with us tonight as well. I hope you had a great afternoon. It was good to see you this morning for our worship committee meeting. Kathy, good to see you and Rich here. Yep, Shara was playing the role of Mrs. Rogers. That's for sure. I look forward to seeing you and Rich hopefully before too long, Kathy, as well. Dale, a very good evening to you. I'm hoping that you will be able to join us for our worship once we get back together on May 2nd, and the same for you, Meg. Great evening to you. Hope the first half of your week went well and that you're looking forward to the second half of your week coming up here. What are you saying what for, Len? Are you just messing with me? Anyway, Jenny, hello and welcome to you this evening. Hopefully everything is going well for you too, and I will see you for dinner really shortly. A couple of announcements for you this week. First of all, in-person worship, as I mentioned, is now set to begin on Sunday, May 2nd. We are just so excited for that. Session has been planning for that. We have some meetings coming up to get things in a row for that. And what exactly that's going to look like, we're not entirely sure at this point. It will be socially distanced, and there is information on the website, and there'll be more information coming out over the coming weeks. Obviously, as the MDH and the CDC continues to revise their guidelines, we will have to continue to revise exactly how that's going to look for us. But I am genuinely so excited to have people back in the sanctuary and not just be doing what I'm doing tonight and sitting talking to a camera, although I do get a little more interaction with you guys in the comments section here. Also, the Women's Thursday Night Connect on Zoom, that is now ended. They are planning to come together in person for worship on May 2nd with the rest of us, and they're looking forward to seeing everybody in person moving forward. There will be an event in May with Kelly Johnson that will be a Zoom event, and then they're also looking forward to what was formerly Spring Renewal, which was going to be Kelly Johnson's Being Brave retreat a year ago. They're scheduling that now for November, so if you're interested in that, we do hope that you keep your eyes open for that and pay attention to the calendar. We do have a lot of prayer requests for our congregation at the moment. Brianna Lukey, as I mentioned on Sunday, is down at the Mayo Clinic. She's recovering from her first surgery to help reduce or eliminate her epileptic seizures. I want to keep her in prayer. Also, Karen Petty's brother, Scott, he is on a list for a kidney. He needs a kidney, and so we want to pray that a donor would become available for him. Also for Beth Brostrom's brother, Kent, he is continuing chemotherapy for recently diagnosed cancer. Doug Petty's mom is currently recovering from recent surgery herself. She's home feeling pretty good. The pain in her hip is significantly reduced, and she's walking better. Mary Wakeham has a couple of prayer requests, one for her granddaughter-in-law, Gwen, who is a young mother being treated for stage 4 non-Hodgkin lymphoma, and she's struggling with a lot of pain and complications from the chemo that she's going through. So definitely keep her in prayer. Also, Mary's niece, Cheryl, continues with a lot of medical issues as she's in her own treatment for cancer and continues to look for prayers for healing, comfort, and patience. Last night at our deacons meeting, I had a chance to chat with Mary Flater a little bit, and she's still dealing with the compressed discs issue in her back. She's at home. She's still in a lot of discomfort, so we want to continue to pray for her. Also for Andrea Esterly's mom as she's continuing her radiation treatment for cancer. And then obviously everybody that's dealing with COVID, it's exciting that folks are getting their vaccines. I'm 1 week out now for my vaccine, 1 week to go then before I'm considered fully protected. So I'm excited for that. and want to keep, obviously, our community and the city of Minneapolis in particular in prayer as this trial of Derek Chauvin continues at this time. We're also asked to pray for our folks in Cameroon as the violence against the English-speaking part of that country continues. And all of our Cameroonian members come from that English-speaking part of the country. So definitely want to keep them very much in prayer. Gosh, that is a lot of elements to be mindful of, but thankfully we can know that God is present and that God is with us. That just brings me to my thought for the week, and I'm going to let that fly. Hi, I've been thinking about the question of privilege. Not white privilege per se, but all the privileges that I enjoy in life. I've really been reflecting on one of the verses in Scripture that we find in Luke's Gospel, where Jesus tells us that to those who have been given much, much will be demanded, and that those who have been entrusted with much, much will be asked of them. Most of us take that verse and immediately think of it in terms of our financial resources. And while that might be a part of it, and that might be a part of the privilege that we enjoy in life, that's not really at the heart of what this is about. This verse is actually talking to us about all that we have in this life. Every benefit that we enjoy for whatever reason. If we have been entrusted with a lot of anything, then we have to use it for the benefit of others, because it's been entrusted to us as a gift. Well, the kind of privilege I want to talk about today isn't expressly the idea of white privilege. I certainly do enjoy all the benefits that come from white privilege. I get to live a comfortable life in a suburb, something that many folks of color have not been able to do because of discrimination in housing and lending policies over the years. It's certainly true that I have white privilege when it comes to employment. I've never faced any kind of job discrimination based on the color of my skin, as so many other people have done. But the kind of privileges that I've enjoyed are so much bigger, even if they may be somewhat related to that. One of the ways in which I am most definitely privileged in life is in terms of relationships. I grew up with a family that was deeply connected. Amongst our family friends, we had the likes of Lord Lowry of Crossgar, the Chief Justice in Northern Ireland, who was simply known to us as a family as Robbie. Not too many people can claim friendships with the head judge in the nation, who would go on to be one of the Lord of Appeals in the British legal system. Or as a kid growing up, Robin Thompson, a name that doesn't mean anything to most people here in America, or Jackie Kyle, they were family friends as well. Robin Thompson was the captain of the British Lions international rugby team back in the 1950s. So a superhero to kids like me growing up. Or Barry Crimble, the head orthopedic surgeon at Musgrave Park Hospital, the first man to ever perform a hip replacement in Ireland. Good family friend, in fact, best man at my mom and dad's wedding. So we were connected, right, in the sports world, in the legal world. We were connected in the medical profession. When my mom and dad needed to contact a lawyer, they weren't just looking up a lawyer, they were talking to their friends who were lawyers, who were barristers, who were judges. It was a privileged lifestyle. But when I was 16 years old, I really messed up in my school examinations to the point where I maybe shouldn't have returned to school for the last 2 years. And what happened was that we called the school principal, and we went and had a meeting with Tom Garrett, who happened to be really good friends with my uncle, whose wife, Sheena, visited my grandmother on a regular basis. And we worked things out. I think any other kid in my position may not have had the lucky break that I got. But it wasn't so much a lucky break. It was because of the privilege that I enjoyed in the relationships. When it came time for me to move to the United States of America,
When I was beginning my seminary career at Luther, I'd already spent 2 years here, but I had to fly home to get a J1 visa. Because of relationships, because of the position of privilege that I had, they kept the American consulate in Belfast open an hour late while the consulate general stayed to make sure my visa got signed off on, because he was a friend of a friend. Privileged relationships benefit all of us. To the one who has been given much, much will be demanded. Today, I'm grateful to have relationships with all kinds of people who are CEOs of companies, people who are mechanics, who are hairstylists, who are educators, who are pharmacists, who are truck drivers. The list goes on and on and on. Not everybody is blessed to have these kinds of relationships. You know, it's an old adage when we say it's not what you know, it's who you know. And there's so much truth in that those of us who have had the ability to live at a higher level within our society have developed a base of people we know, connections and relationships that can impact and make a difference in this world. That adage of it's not what you know, but who you know has got me into a lot of events over the years. It's got me into the winter dance party down in Clear Lake, Iowa. It got me into the Vikings 50th anniversary VIP reception. As a kid, it got me into all kinds of sporting events, because I've been at times able to use that position of privilege for my own benefit and my own enjoyment. And the real question now is, am I using it for the benefit of the world? You see, I've lived a life of privilege. I didn't earn it. I don't deserve it. At least not intrinsically. Some of those relationships I have worked to develop, but I didn't create the social and cultural circumstances that allowed them to develop in the first place. Those were things that I inherited. Those same social structures, those same social norms have not been available to other people, which means I do live with a degree of social privilege. So I'm left with this lingering question. Do I fully understand and appreciate that because much has been given to me, much will be demanded of me? Do I really appreciate that because much has been entrusted to me, much will be asked of me by God?
Well, folks, trying to be a Christian in the world today is a constant challenge, isn't it? It's a constant battle with the pull of the world to try to align our lives with the calling of Jesus Christ. It's not easy, but we have here in the Western world, and particularly those of us in the Western world who live a middle-class lifestyle, whose skin color is of a lighter shade, white, we have been given so much in comparison to the rest of the world. And with that comes great responsibility. I do hope we're all able to use that responsibility well and wisely, and to make a significant difference in our communities and in the world. As Shara said, this conversation on privilege is important. It's not finished yet, but it has to begin by us recognizing that so much of what we have, we really didn't earn. We happen to be in the right place at the right time with the right relationships. Folks, I hope you have a fantastic rest of the week. It looks like this weekend is shaping up to be pretty good, not quite as nice as Easter weekend. And I look forward to seeing you guys, I won't see you. I look forward to seeing you guys on May 2nd, but I look forward to being with you again on Sunday morning. Until then, take care and God bless.